Welcome to Model Citizen. I'm Connor Kennedy Ryan, and this podcast, we will pull back the curtain on the modeling industry to show the who's, the what's, and the why's. Sophie.
Hello.
Welcome to Model Citizen.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
It's an honor to have you. This is something I've been excited about for a long time.
Yes, definitely.
I know we have a lot to talk about.
Let's get into it.
Starting with, we almost worked together, then we didn't work together, then we did. I'd love for you to talk about when we first met.
Yeah.
And more importantly, what is it like when you're a model and you're coming to see agencies, and how do you choose?
Totally. It was a huge learning lesson for me, I will tell you. At that point in my life, things had just started picking up. I had booked a few really big jobs and was like, okay, I need an agency. I had a lot of outside voices while I was meeting around, but basically how it went was I kind of composited, recent digitals, a list of all the things that I'm working on, my dance background, and then just cold turkey emailed a million agencies. I knew I wanted to take modeling more seriously while also continue dancing. And yeah, I had a lot of bites, a lot of agencies that were really interested. So I just started taking meetings, and it was really confusing because some agencies you walk into and you're like begging for an ounce of their attention. Some agencies you walk into and they're like, we love you. We're going to put you on the cover of Vogue tomorrow. And you're like, really? Like, are you serious? And then some have a vision for you, some don't. So you leave kind of feeling like, okay, where do I go? Do I go to a big agency number-wise that represents hundreds of girls? They have hundreds of clients, but you might become a small pebble in a large sea. Do I go with a smaller agency, a mother agency? So it was a lot of swirling ideas and opinions, and I made the choice to go with a big agency number-wise, and I learned a lot from that experience. I learned that, in a modeling agency, if you run it like a machine, it works profit-wise, money-wise. The agency, they were making a bunch of money, but individually, if you get pigeonholed into one little niche area, that's all you get pushed for, that's all you do. And yeah, I learned, I was like, oh no, I've made a mistake. So I came crawling back to Muse with the tail between my legs.
Not crawling. I remember when you reconnected, I think with Jessica, and we were so excited.
Yeah.
And, I do believe timing is everything.
Completely.
And I've been doing this a long time. Muse has been open a long time. And it's like, okay, when we're meant to work together, that's going to happen.
Exactly. And it was so nice, too, because I had my whole contract with my old agency. It ran out, and I was like, okay, I know exactly where I want to go, and set up the meeting with Muse. And I was so nervous that everyone would be like, now you want us. But I was met with open arms, immediate vision. I know you came in the room, Elizabeth was in the room, and they were like, we're so excited you're here. And it was just, I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Timing is everything. It was a great understanding of let's do this. Let's get on to it.
Now is
jobs.
the time.
Yeah, exactly. I signed, and it was boom, here's your schedule every day. Book. And I was like,
yeah, you did hit the ground running.
I've made it to the Holy Land.
Is it intimidating to meet with model agencies?
Oh, yeah, 1,000,000%. Because, it's like going to a job interview. But at a job interview, they're interviewing you based off of your prior experience, your degree, what work you can do. This is who are you? And you carry your work with you. This is the product that I'm trying to sell. This is what I'm trying to get accepted for. So it feels like you're basically walking into a room butt-ass naked in front of a group of people being like, do you want to work with me or not? So it's really intimidating. And some agencies you leave feeling really hurt and weird and oh gosh, I feel, too old, too ugly, too not good enough, whatever. And then some agencies you leave being like, oh my gosh, they see how much value I have. I see how much value they have. So yeah, it's definitely a nerve-wracking process.
Well, I think one thing I really take seriously is when prospective models come and see us, whether we're interested or not. I think it's important. How can they leave feeling like that was a positive experience? They got time, they had FaceTime. Whether it works out or not is part of the business.
Totally.
And, it's the same as going to see clients. But I still think people can leave, whether it's an agency or a client audition, feeling like, okay, I had my shot. Now let's see what happens. And it's important that you send that energy out.
I completely agree, because even at castings, like there are some clients that you leave a casting feeling like, oh my gosh, I just got bullied in real life. And then there's some castings that's like, okay, maybe I'm not going to book this job. I'm probably not the right person for this job. But they looked me in the eye. They shook my hand. They asked me how my day was. And just like leaving with that feeling, you're like, oh, okay, like this is just a business, but like I still feel like my time was, valued and my presence was valued. And I feel like at Muse, like that was one of like the biggest things. I left that meeting being like, I'm so excited. Like every single person I made great eye contact with, they were genuine. They asked me questions about my life. Like it really felt like a great symbiotic connection.
It's so far so good.
Totally.
One thing I remember from meeting you, of course, was cheerleading.
Yes.
So it's always been a very mysterious category for me. I have so many questions about it.
Yeah.
First of all, is it sport? Is it entertainment? How do you see it? What is it?
So interesting. We were just having a conversation with another dancer. So I danced for the NBA Brooklyn Nets from 2018 to 2023, best 5 years ever. And it was incredible. So technically cheerleaders, dancers, kind of all in the same vein when you get to that professional sports level. But yeah, I would say dance is, in my opinion, an art. It's an art form. It is not a sport because you're not competing to win. I mean, you have dance competitions. I grew up competing, my whole entire life. But there's no really end goal. There's no prize when it comes to dancing or cheerleading or performing. It's purely to entertain the audience. Like we are there to bring joy, to bring energy, to connect. So in my opinion, I don't consider it like a sport, but I will say it is the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've played plenty of sports. It's physically taxing, emotionally taxing. You dedicate your body and your mind and your soul to this art that's sometimes not super rewarding. Sometimes it is. But yeah, I would say dancing for the Nets was such an incredible experience. And what other questions do you have about it?
So, first of all, how do you go from a dancer to getting on the Nets? What is that journey like? What is that competition like?
Yeah, so my audition experience, I would say is kind of rare. I made the team my first year auditioning, which was so cool. I actually was studying sports economics in college, and I went to a Brooklyn Nets game. I was a freshman in college. I had grown up dancing my whole entire life. I did competition dance when I was a kid, and then I auditioned to be in dance programs for school, and I got rejected from every single school I auditioned for. And was like, oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to dance. I'm going to take a break. I went to college. I studied economics. It was in my freshman year. I went to a Nets game with my class, and I saw the dancers dance. And I was like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I was like, I have this dance background. I took a break. I'm feeling the itch to like dance again. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out how can I get on this team? Because I was like, those girls are dancing down. And so I'm like joking, telling everyone around, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And obviously I'm one of the only women in my economics program. And they're like, yeah, sure. Okay. Like whatever. I look it up. There's like an audition clinic where they kind of prep you. Happening the next weekend. I sign up cold turkey. I don't know anybody. I show up, and it was the hardest weekend of my life. I remember leaving being like, I'm the worst dancer. That was so hard. There's no way I can make this team. It was a great experience. The women were so wonderful. I learned so much, but I was like feeling really defeated because it was really, really difficult. And also there were probably 100 people there. It was a sold out clinic. And I was like, if there are 100 people here that paid this amount of money to just learn a little bit, imagine how many people are going to show up to the open call audition. And so I was like, woof, it's going to be tough. And they were, rumors floating that there were only 3 or 4 spots available in the upcoming year.
But wouldn't that be normal?
That's usually normal. Sometimes you see like a wave of girls leave, because you kind of go in classes. So if there's like a big class and like 5, 6 people decide to leave for the year, then like you have 5, 6 spots open. But this year they cut the team down and they were only 4 people left. So it was like there's only 4 spots. I was terrified, so nervous. Show up, there were 400 girls at the audition. The line wrapped around the Barclays Center. And I was just like, I have no clue what I'm doing in my little sports bra, booty shorts, and my tiny little number. And then I just trucked through the audition. Basically, I found girls that were on the team that I had stalked on Instagram. I'm a big fan of stalking. I stalk every client, every photographer, everything. So I had stalked every girl that was on the team, and I found the girls that were like, okay, these are the girls that I kind of look like. Let me just stay around them. So through the audition, I probably looked like a stalker. I was following them around. I was standing right beside them in every single group. And then it's a pretty brutal audition. You start with a massive group of people, and the first round of cuts are they put you in 2 lines, and they teach you a combo in 15 minutes. And then you have to go down the whole court, one at a time with whoever is next to you in line. And the 2 coaches stand at the end of the court with numbers. And so you don't even start with a number. And so you get down to the end after you've done your combo, and either they hand you a number, which means you made it to the next round, or they tap you on the shoulder and you're done.
So like, it's Hunger Games.
It's Hunger Games. And it's just like you see girls' dreams just get like crushed in a second. Like boom, cut. They hack it down probably 50%. Cut like probably 100 girls. And then throughout the day, you learn different combos, and they make cuts just randomly. They'll be like, okay, we're going to make cuts now. And just you audition whatever you've learned 4 at a time. And then they take you to boot camp. They take like the finalists to boot camp. It's a much shorter boot camp than what they would do on like DCC or something. It's usually 2 days. They get to know you. They do interviews, which is where I am like, okay, this is where I'm going to shine, because if you can just sit me down, if I can sit down and talk to you, I'm like, I can nail it. So had a great interview, really connected with all of the women. And then the last round of auditions, real Hunger Games. They call it the Battle Royale. So they pick you and usually a girl who's already on the team that looks just like you. One at a time, you guys battle it out. So it's just the 2 of you dancing in front of a stadium full, because people can come and watch the final day of auditions.
So no pressure.
No pressure at all. So you do the dance, and then someone comes with a microphone and gives you an interview question. And they want to see how you react, under pressure. If you can give like a very media, PR trained answer after you've just performed. So you're like gasping for air while they're asking you what your favorite color is and why, or, if you had a superpower, beauty pageant questions, I guess. And then they announce the team right there on the spot. So it was insane, and it was incredible. I remember I was the first name that got called as like one of the newbies, and I just was like blown away. I was fully expecting to be cut. So it was me and 3 other girls, and those 3 girls are still like some of my closest friends, and we just started our journey together.
And once you're on the team or the squad, what is the training commitment like?
It's intense. Yeah. So usually you take the month of August to learn all of your routines for the year. But then rehearsals are 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every other night. The season starts October. You have games. Your call time is 1:30 p.m. and you leave Barclays at, midnight and dance the whole night. And then if you're not doing a game, you're rehearsing. So it was a pretty, we were clocking, 40 hours a week.
Wow.
On top of I was a full-time student at the time too. So I stacked all of my classes early in the morning so that I could, be able to leave whenever and make it to rehearsal. But it's a full-time commitment, I would say.
That's a lot to juggle.
Totally.
Do you think you were born with that discipline and work ethic? Did it come from your parents? Was it self-taught?
Yeah, definitely a beautiful mix of everything. So my dad is an immigrant. He came to America when he was 18, and him and his family kind of created an entire life and foundation for us. So I definitely get part of my work ethic from him. My mom is a workaholic. She retired 3 years ago, but still somehow is working every single day. And then growing up dancing, you just have that discipline instilled in you. It's like, you know, you only get better if you put in the work, if you show up to practice on time, if you make sure, you know, all of your ducks are in a row. So I think that discipline was kind of instilled. It was just everything I saw around me. Every role model I had was super disciplined. Every person who I wanted to be, everyone around me was very much disciplined. So I think that that was a huge help in my career professionally as well.
So you think it's more observing and the atmosphere you're in versus someone telling you or teaching you?
Exactly. Yeah. I just saw everyone around me who was successful and happy and wonderful being really disciplined and dedicated to whatever they loved. And I was like, okay, that's how we got to do it. And I mean, honestly, I love, you know me, I love being busy. I love working. If I could work 2 jobs in one day, I would. Like, it's just, yeah, it's kind of what keeps me motivated.
Let's talk about your journey into modeling.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me how it started? What was the first big job?
Totally. So it all started, I was 16, and my dance teacher took me to a trip to New York. I'm from small town Alabama. So we would do these like trips every few years. And so she got a group together to go to New York City. And I guess she didn't tell me, but she had told my mom before that she had set up some agency meetings, some modeling agency meetings, because she didn't want me to be nervous. And basically she pulled me out of dance class in New York one day and was like, here's some jeans and a tank top. I'm taking you to meet a modeling agency. I don't want you to be nervous. Like, it's going to be fine. And that's actually where I met Elizabeth way, way back when. This was probably 2014, 2015. And I signed with my first agency. It was a small agency, really cute. I mean, I was still living in Alabama full time, so I barely worked. But it was nice because in the summers, I would go to castings, develop my book a little bit, kind of like dip my toes in it. I think maybe like the only jobs I got through that agency were like e-com, you know, once a month maybe. And it was cute. It was nice. It was a good like introduction. But that kind of fizzled out. And then I had started dancing for the Nets. I was in college and I saw a casting on Instagram. Shay Nielsen Casting posted they were looking for dancers. And I was like, you know what? I'm a model and a dancer. Let me just apply. They're super vague about who the client is. And I start kind of getting through some rounds of auditions, sending my digitals. And then there was an in-person or a Zoom audition. And they revealed the choreographer. And it was Ryan Heffington. And he choreographs every single campaign. Anything that you see and consume on film that has a dance sequence, I guarantee he's the choreographer. And so I opened the Zoom and I was like, oh my God, this must be a huge job. Like, they still haven't revealed the client. I don't know what's going on.
But you know it's big time.
I know it's big. And so I end up getting a phone call the night before my semester finals at college from, you know, the casting, and they're like, we want to confirm you for this job. Your flight is tomorrow at 7 a.m. to LA, first class. I had never flown first class in my life. And they were like, and the client is for Chanel. This is a Chanel campaign. And I was like, and they were like, and the rate is this much. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And I was just so excited. I remember sitting in my little first class chair, emailing my professors, being like, I will not be in attendance to my finals because I am doing a Chanel campaign.
Oh, you told the truth.
Oh, heck yeah. I was like, I'm going to milk this. I was like, you know, I'm going to be on a billboard, so you can probably see it from your office. And luckily, I went to a city college in New York, so they were all super understanding. They were like, okay, you can take it a week late or send me an essay or whatever. And that was my first, like, big job. It was crazy. It was with Lily Rose Depp. We were dancing on the top of a cliff. It was amazing. And then I made a great relationship with Shay Nielsen. And then Shay booked me for a Gordon Von Steiner Mac campaign where I was dancing and I actually got made the lead of the commercial. And after that, that's when I was like, okay, I feel like I have some momentum. Let's like do some agency shopping.
And that's how you got going.
Yeah, that's kind of how it all started.
So when I watched some of your movement jobs, I was watching D Squared the other day. I mean, it really comes across, oh, this is a serious dancer. But of course, as an agent, I work on briefs all the time where they ask for models who can move and models who can dance. And some models have no training, but really like dance and feel comfortable. But it seems like it's a very different world when you have the background and training that you have.
Totally.
When you've been on set as a model and you're moving, what do you see for amateurs who are trying to keep up, and how do they navigate it?
Yeah, I would say it's obvious. Those who are connected with your body and you kind of know, you have a sense of like groundedness. You just know as a dancer, you're put in front of a mirror from the youngest age you can remember, and then you're in front of that mirror staring at yourself for 18 years while you train. So you know what looks good on your body, you know what shapes work, you know how to just naturally flow into things. And I think there have been times when I'm on set or I'm at a casting where they, clearly want someone with dance experience, but, the agents will send whoever feels comfortable dancing. And immediately they're like, do you have a background in dance? And they're like, I took ballet when I was 2. And they're like, okay, so move. And then they're like, they feel weird. They look weird. Oh, that like, there's a wall of like hesitancy that pops up immediately with girls who aren't comfortable moving. And so to that, I would say like, anybody who wants to be involved in these movement jobs, models, like take a dance class. There's so many dance classes in so many cities. I think just like having the foundation and like being really uncomfortable looking at yourself in the mirror is the best way to like connect with your body.
Yeah. Do you think it's a mix of mental and physical?
1,000,000%. I think, yeah. There's a huge mental wall because in modeling, you want to look cool. You want to be chic. You want to be that girl. You want to exude, beauty and hold that highest standard. But there's like a sense of you have to throw away your ego. And with dance, you learn that really young. The bigger, the more full out, the weirder the movement is, the better it reads. And I think kind of the same for modeling. So I think there is a bit of mental and physical that kind of go back and forth.
Do you think someone who has very little natural ability can improve?
Oh, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. It's literally all just practice. You should have seen me when I first started dancing, like literally a twig with legs. Like I've been this height since I was probably in 4th grade. So I was very awkward, very uncoordinated. It's all just practice. It's all like dedication, patience, and just learning your body, being able to like be uncomfortable, feel weird, recorrect, and continue moving.
When you think about modeling, I'm curious, when you book a job, what do you think the client is seeing, or who do they think that girl is? Who is Sophie? Like, what's your take on the behind-the-scenes decisions?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've definitely developed myself into like a very niche pocket. I know that when there's a movement job or they're looking for dancers, usually I'm like in the running for that. That's like kind of my thing. I've done some incredible jobs. I've done Chanel, MAC, D Squared, Maybelline, all where I've been like highlighted as like a model who also dances. So I think a lot of times clients book me, they're like, oh, Sophie the dancer. They know it's on my Instagram. They know that they're going to have like great movement. And then I also think like energy. Like I bring great energy to set because if I'm going to spend all day with you guys, we're going to have a good time. I want to be laughing. I want to be joking. I want to be talking. And then if we're shooting e-com, I know clients will book me if there is a large rack to get through because I'm quick. I'm efficient. I love like shooting fast. It's always like a running joke at Shop Op, one of my consistent clients that, they put all the extras on my rack because I can get it done. We're going to be, if I'm working, I'm working. So we're getting through. So I think, yeah, when clients book me, they kind of know that they're signing up for like a big energy day. If they need someone to bring the energy, some great movement, and to get it done.
You always seem full of energy, very positive, very inspiring. Do you ever have off days? Are there days when you have an early call time and you have to drag yourself Like, what's your technique or secret?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to be honest. I'm not the type of girl that has a morning routine, especially with this job. It has kind of encouraged my laziness, I guess, in a way. Like, I will set my alarm. I always call an Uber the night before. So there's an Uber waiting for me at my door. There's no way I'm going to miss that. But I will make my alarm, 10 minutes before I have to hop into an Uber. Because luckily for us, we show up to set no hair, no makeup. So all I have to do, roll out of bed, do some skincare, brush my teeth, put on deodorant, and I'm out the door. So usually if my call time is like 8:45, my alarm is set for 8 a.m. I wake up, Uber's outside in 10 minutes, and I'm there. So usually that's kind of how I start my day. But I recharge a lot by myself. I love being alone. This job is really taxing on your mental and your physical. You have someone touching you every single second of the day. They're in your face. They're talking. If you're the only model on set, you're the one who has to bring all of the energy. So when I get home, like my boyfriend knows I have like a 45-minute no talk, no touch. Oh, I am just...
I think I might steal that for my marriage.
It helps a lot, especially if you communicate, like, I'm not being irritable. I just need 45 minutes to recharge. I get home and I'll either like sit on the floor of my bathroom. I'll sit on the couch and I just need to be like zen, meditate, and just like think about nothing, have no one touching me, no noise, no nothing. So yeah, I take that very seriously. And then on the days that I don't work, I really do nothing. I sleep in as long as I want. I clean the house. I do the laundry. And then I just chill. I need that time to recharge.
And he understands that?
1,000,000%. Yeah. My boyfriend used to model when he was in college, and now he is a data scientist, mega nerd, like, love that man. But he gets it. He understands the industry that I'm coming from, and he also understands me, and yeah, lets me have my zen moments when I need them.
Let's talk about some of the other things you're working on outside of modeling.
Yeah.
So I know there are clients like Maybelline where you've been in front of the camera, and then you've also been working with them for movement and choreography.
Yeah.
How did that start? And talk us through that journey of a new career.
Yeah, I think it all started when I started doing these movement jobs. Being on set, realizing, they hire somebody that they deem the title of movement director, to sometimes it's full out choreography, and sometimes it's just someone there to like bring the vibes and be like, okay, imagine, you're floating through space, make your movements lighter, and it's just kind of coaching you how to move and how to like compose a photo. And I realized, I was like, that seems like a job that I would also be really good at. So I kind of just sourced around. I was doing a Maybelline job where I was dancing, and one of the clients, he came up to me and he was like, my husband is a movement director. Can I introduce you guys? Maybe you guys work together. His name is Georgie. And yeah, so I kind of had a meeting with him, and then he just brought me on as his assistant, which is really cool. So I got to assist some amazing jobs. And then as that's happening, I'm also working modeling jobs, and, I have a big mouth. So as I'm shooting, I'm also like, hey, I'm a movement director as well. I had never movement directed anything by myself, but like I'm assisting, I have a background in dance, and I would just like kind of blab to my clients and just be like, this is also something that I do. And I was sitting at a Maybelline job. We were sitting at lunch. I was talking to one of the producers. I was like, yeah, I just want to really get into directing. I want to get into movement directing. I feel like going behind the camera is something that's really inspiring to me. And then little do I know, a few days later, I get an email in my inbox being like, hey, were you serious about that conversation we had at lunch? And I was like, I'm so serious. She's like, great. You want to be the director for the next 12 Maybelline videos that we have coming up? And I was like, sure. She's like, okay, great. Here's the briefs. Have your storyboards due by this day, your scripts due by this day, this, and this. And I was like, I guess I'm a director now. So then I started directing. I was able to direct a handful of videos. It was amazing. And then, yeah, basically just through talking to my clients, they've hired me. I choreographed a Steve Madden campaign. Yesterday, I just wrapped a huge commercial with celebrity talent for like a wellness brand. And it's been really cool kind of transitioning to behind the scenes and doing stuff behind the camera.
Do you think you have a special ability to connect with talent as you've been in front of the
Totally.
camera and behind. How do you work with them best? Like, what's the way to get the best out of performers?
Totally. I think, yeah, being in front of the camera has really helped because even when I'm in front of the camera, I'm kind of clocking how things go. And I'm like, oh, I don't really love how this person said this to me, or how this is being run, or, oh, I love how this producer does this, or this director gives this. So it's like I know the perspective of the talent, especially doing Maybelline. It was like I was the model on set one day and now I'm the director. So I know exactly how they feel. And I think with movement, getting a one-on-one connection with the talent is what is really key. Knowing that they trust you. I'm like, I'm not going to make you look stupid. I know you. I know how you're feeling. I was in your shoes literally last week. I'm going to be in your shoes next week because they booked me as the model. So it's like just kind of letting them understand that, like, you're safe with me. I have the monitor in my hands. You're not going to look stupid. Like, you can trust my direction. I think connecting with them on that and making sure, because a lot of the time, client doesn't really know how to say things in the right way. Like yesterday we were on set and we were shooting athletes and there was a runner and he was resting. So his like muscles weren't engaged and they were like, oh, you know, your stomach's hanging over your shorts. And I was like, okay, so let's not say that. Because if I wasn't there, they would just go up to him and be like, can you make sure your stomach's not hanging over your shorts? And I was like, ooh, okay, I don't think we need to say that. And so then, you know, I'm there to bridge the gap and translate. Okay, hey, I know you're resting right now. Let's, like, when we call action, let's, like, make sure we're really engaging our core. Let's make sure, you know, we're holding tension in our muscles. So we're shooting for a wellness brand. We want to see your muscles engaged. We want to see the tension. And being able to translate that to him so he feels like, okay, now I have direction. And he doesn't feel like, you know, the client's being like, oh, you're fat, you know. So I think one of the biggest parts of being a movement director is basically translating client vision into, you know, direction for talent on how to achieve the best image.
Well, and also there are different ways to deliver the same message.
1,000,000%.
And people can walk away feeling seen, encouraged,
Totally.
a path forward, or they can walk away feeling really deflated. I mean, a lot of things can happen, and it's hard on set when clients are feeling pressure.
Yeah.
Sometimes they probably mean something different than what they say.
Exactly. And it's never, the biggest lesson I've learned in modeling is it's never personal. Like, the client, that's their product, that's their brand. So, like, of course they're going to have a say in how things look and what they want, and they have to be very direct about that, and I totally understand and respect that. It's just the fact that as models, we are the product. You know, we are the product that they're trying to sell. So it can be taken personally, but you have to remove yourself and understand that, you know, no client is going to book you and then intentionally be mean to you on set. That's just not, they just wouldn't have you if they wanted to bully you. So it's like, yeah, learning how to translate, you know, different meanings from different people.
What are some dream jobs in terms of movement that you are on your vision board?
Yes. I mean, obviously, Gap. Everyone is talking about the Gap visuals. A big, huge dance visual campaign would be so cool to be a part of. Anything that really embodies, like, joy. I love sparking joy in people. So, like, any brand that I feel like would want to create magic, something magical, something, you know, very whimsical, something where I could have a part in, like, inspiring joy and having that translate in a really cool fashion way. I think Burberry does incredible visuals, and I would love to be a part of that creative process. Yeah, I think choreographing a really cool runway campaign, or not campaign, a runway show would be really fun. I just helped assist a runway that was 2 nights ago, and that was a fun experience to be a part of. But yeah, I think like a fashion week show where a brand really wants to do something different and wants to have a lot of moving, ditch the traditional walk, turn around, walk back, and do something, you know, exciting and visually storytelling. I think that would be a really cool project to undertake. And then, yeah, slowly learning what it's like to be a capital D director. I would love to, you know, dip my toes into directing these, like, insane fashion visuals.
What do you think on set clients are trying to achieve with movement? Is it to get the attention of consumers who are your age? Is it to stand out? What's deep down, what is the vision?
Yeah, I think a lot of brands are seeing dance translate to TikTok, which translate to virality, which is a great route to go. But then you have brands that have been doing, movement since the dawn of time, and those are the brands that their message really hits home. And so I think with these movement, and you see a lot of these visuals popping up more, I think it's just to inspire consumers. Like, you want to be captivated by a visual. Right now there's so many options, you have so many forms of media, so many things to consume. So a lot of frivolous content gets thrown around. So I think brands are really trying to be like, okay, what's going to catch someone's eye? What's going to make the clothes look cool? What's going to, make someone be like, or send to a friend, or be like, who's doing this? What is this brand? So I think it's all just to capture that like moment of like magic. When you see a beautiful visual, a beautiful show, I know when I see a dance show, you get like goosebumps. It's just something about someone moving their body in a way that's like synced up perfectly to music, incredibly styled, like it just all clicks, that kind of takes your breath away. So I think that they're just trying to capture that like moment.
Well, you know it when you see it, right? Because
Exactly.
It pops.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh my gosh. Thank
We were
you.
talking earlier. I hope to see you sometime at Basement.
Yes,
Although I'm afraid to watch you
please.
dance. You're going to make the rest of us look horrible.
I love it. No, partying is the best because you're with people, you release all your inhibitions, you can just dance. Sometimes I find myself doing like full out routines that, if there's a song that I used to have a routine to, you best believe I'm giving you a full recital. And I'm doing it dead sober too. So I hope we see each other. We're going to plan a Muse times Basement night.
I'm already nervous.
I feel like that's the team bonding that we need.
Fair. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And we
thank
can't wait to
you.
see what's next.
I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Of course.